Hello, I'm Renato, and I'm really excited to talk about a game-changing tool which is set to revolutionize your approach to web design and to layouting. We are talking about visual CSS grid building today. This tool will help you with creating some grids which are stunning and really complex under 1 minute. It will save you lots of times without any cognitive load while you are doing, because you need just to click. Okay, we are at first level and we are going to check how we could create some most common grids. Most common grids that we could find are 4-column grid. We could locate columns and delete one. We get 3 columns. If we delete one more, we get 2 columns. We could also type it here, create 3 columns, 4, and we could change gap. We could change individually, or we could link and change all the gap like this. And these are some of the most common layouts we could find. We are on grid level 1, and in next example we have this layout from free code camp, and we are going to recreate that also. So we are going to our grid and we are going to display grid. We have 4x3 grid. We need to set up that, and now we need to click on this handle and span this item like this, and we have recreated that grid. And we are now on level 2. We are going to recreate some Bento grids. First grid is a portfolio grid. We are going to use 12 columns. We are going to select grid container, edit grid. We set 12. Now we need to span that, or we could use helper to span all of them, and then set these to something like this. And we are going to stretch items and reduce gap to 10 pixels. And now that should be like original grid. In the next example we have another Bento grid by Kelman. It is a grid used to make a brand style presentation, and we are going to recreate this interesting grid right now. So we need to go edit grid. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns, and we have 1, 2, 3 rows, and this needs to be 2 columns. This will be 2 rows, also 2 rows, and this is 3 by 2 item, and this will be 2 columns. And now we have recreated that grid. In the next example we are on level 2, and we are also recreating Bento grid by a linear app. They have really beautiful app, and the website is also really nice. So we are going to need 3 columns and 2 rows. We could see this is first column, second and third. So display grid, we are going to edit 3 by 2, and we need this to be 2 columns, and this last needs to be also like that, and we are going to stretch. And we have recreated that Bento grid from linear wrap. In next example, we are going to recreate this grid from April 14. This is also Bento grid. We are going to need 3 columns and 3 rows. So we are going to grid container, edit grid, 3 by 3, and we are going to reduce this in the middle to half of fraction. This is 2 by 2, these are okay, and we need this to span a little bit more, and we are done. And if we look, it is pretty much the same as original. With items it will be look even more closer. And the final grid at level 2 will be the most dramatic one in this video. It is of course a grid from our little brother from another mother. We are talking about this nice Bento grid from Breakdance, and we are going to recreate that with 12 columns. So we could get this small gap here and here, also could be recreated with 4 columns. If we want recreate that, we need to go display grid, edit grid, 12, let's every take 6, this needs a little bit inside, and this we are going to a little bit outside. And this is the most complex grid that we are going to make in this tutorial. When you look at this, it does not seem that complex, but there are few details which make it really tough. First detail, you could see this. So this item needs at least 2 columns. Second detail is this. And third detail is this. So you see this item, it needs to be 2 columns, 2 rows. So on actual grid it will take 2 rows, and this will take only 1. So that is kinda counterintuitive, but yeah. And for size variation, we are going to use variation in fractional units in templates. So let's start. We are going to display grid, click edit. We need 9 columns, and we are going to need for this 7 rows. And let's make for the starting point each one fraction. Okay, I did 1 too many. So this first item will take 2, and this second item will take 2 by 2, 2 by 2. Okay. and this will take actually 3. This will take and this will take 2 by 3. So this could take 2 and could go like this, and this needs to go like that, and this will go here. So we have created this overlap, and we are going to create here small overlap. Okay, we are now making this big item, so we need one more, but because of this we need two more rows compared to this item. So we need to go here, and one less than this. We need to go columns like that. Okay. This item I could see goes to the bottom. We thought this needs to take 2. And after that, this item will take 2. This will take 1. Okay, this will go here. This will go here. My bad. This needs to take to this point. Okay. And we have this item which will be a little bit smaller. This will be like that. Okay. And now we have good basis, but we need to fix these overlaps. This will be small overlap, like 0.25 fractions, and here we'll make like that. This will be a little bigger, 1.5 fractions, and this overlap is now too big. It will be half fraction. This overlap here, you see it will be like this, and we can see that this is like 2 fractions. So here and here we are going 3 fractions to get this item big, and that would be like all. We have recreated that grid. We could play a little bit with things to make this like half fraction, and we have that grid made. While I was preparing materials for this demo, I got a request to recreate this grid from Kevin tutorial about CSS grid areas. In that tutorial, Kevin goes in details about CSS grid areas and writes code in CodePen. And I'll show you how you could recreate that using this tool, and you will see why you don't want to code a grid like this, and it is 10 times at least easier to use this tool. So let's start. We are going to select grid container, edit grid. Grid is 7 by 6. So we need to create a little bit. And first is 2 span. Second item is 4. You see these numbers. They help you to know which child is that. So you have orientation while you are making. And we are going like this little alternate template. And now we are going to full row span. This will be 2 and this will be 4. This one will have one from both row sides empty, and this will have 2 empty. And we have recreated this. And you notice this in center. It is about 1.5 times bigger than this. And in order to solve that tricky question, we could use 1.5 fractional units. You wouldn't believe how capable rendering engines and machines that runs web are nowadays. You all know about this awesome game, Monopoly board game, and in this challenge we are going to recreate Monopoly board. So creating Monopoly board using CSS grid. So we need to detect number of rows and columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This was easy. 5 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. So we have 5 by 5 5 by 5 grid, and we are going to place items manually in that grid, so we could have this space in middle free. So here we have prepared these cells, and we are going to display grid. We are going to edit grid. We told that we need 5 by 5 grid, and now we are going to manually place each item. Okay, we did this wrong, but we could mistake. We could correct that mistake. And 5 by 5. We need here one more. And after that we need go to 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. And done. We have successfully created a Monopoly board using just CSS grid. And now we are at the final level, level 5, and we are going to see how we could create grid overlaps. This is usually pretty complex, but you will see that is pretty straightforward using this tool. So we have this easy overlap of first grid item over these. We need to detect grid pattern. Grid pattern is 3 by 3. So we could see 1, 2, 3. We could see 1, 2, 3. So let's recreate this also. Display grid 3 by 3. And we could see that this item will take 2 by 2. Let's do that. And this item we are going to overlap here. This item is also 2 by 2 and will overlap here. And this item will overlap here. And gap should be something like 0 here. And we have recreated this grid overlap, and to better understand that, we could turn areas, and now we are going to see these overlaps in better fashion. And we are here in our final grid. We are going to make some artistic grid, and we are going to use this grid from Jen Simmons' YouTube video about overlap on the web. If you don't know about her, definitely go and check out her videos about CSS grids. And she also talks a lot about new things which are yet to come in CSS, so you will be aware of direction where is CSS going nowadays. So definitely follow her on YouTube and on the web. And we are going now to recreate this grid. We could see that it has 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. Columns are like 4 fraction, 2 fraction, 2 fraction, 3 fraction, and 6 fraction. And rows, there are 5 equal rows. Okay, we are going to make 5 by 5. And also we need to make these like 4, 2, 2, 3, and 6. Okay, we are doing nicely. For rows, we are going to delete, and we are going to make 1 fraction each row, and we are going to make 5 of them. So this is our second item. It takes 1, 2 by 1, 2. Our first item, or here you could see it as second, will go under both of these items and will take 3 by 3. So let's go 3 by 3. Okay, and our last item will take 1, 2 by 1, 2, 3. So 2 by 3. Okay, we could hit done. We are going to limit the grid container about 60 characters, and we have something which looks like a grid from Jen's video. Thank you for watching, and hope this will help you in creating grids.